SMT Nation, we back. Nation, we've got news out of Verizon. Their network chief, Joe Russo, kind of getting cold on small cells. Asked directly about, how the network is going to be built and deployed over the course of the next year or so. He spoke to the macro build, and those are the large tower sites that you guys see. And he felt pretty confident that the focus for Verizon moving forward would be upgrading existing macros and existing cell sites. I'm assuming he also means existing small cells, but they would not be emphasizing, growth and expansion of small cells too much. He viewed it more as kind of use case and picking the spots for coverage or capacity needs. But major expansion, he seemed cool on that with the small cells. So I wanted to propose this possible explanation as to why the kind of sort of seemingly a switch in this position. And that has to do with Crown Castle. All right. For those of you that don't know the company, Crown Castle is a company that builds small cells, owns fiber, and has a very strong partnership with Verizon. Let's discuss that here in today's video. All right. Link for the article from Light Reading will be in the description for you as a placeholder and to maybe consider checking out. And ways to support us also in the description as well. All right, so the situation with Crown and Verizon. Crown Castle is the company that has partnered with any company could partner with Crown, right? They are a company that builds tower sites, whether it's macros and small cells, and then they lease, or they have leases with the companies that want access to their locations and their fiber. Right, so you've got basically they're a real estate company for carriers, and they set those lease terms, and they're long-term, probably 10-year leases and such. And they enjoyed some incredible growth over the course of the 4G LTE and early preliminary parts of the 5G era. Well, under recent scrutiny from an activist investment firm, Elliott Management, they seem to be under fire. For those of you that maybe remember this group's name, you probably remember it from the AT&T debacle, where Elliott Management produced a scathing report on the state of that business, in which AT&T basically rearranged its whole entire business, spinning off all of its media assets and focusing on its main core business. Meanwhile, after completing that complete change to the company, Elliott Management pulled their money investment from AT&T and left. Right, so. This is a seemingly very powerful management group, Elliott Management, and they've identified major flaws in Crown Castle's business. They're skeptical on the fiber and small cell performance of the business, right? They're skeptical of where the stock is currently. It's at like 6-year lows. They're also skeptical about the position that the company is in for the future and its business model, right? So basically what it sounds like to me is that, the Elliott Management wants the fiber small cell business to be changed, basically eliminated, sell the assets. Now, does that mean it's going to happen? Not necessarily, but they're very powerful and influential. And I think possibly there could be a connection to hear why, Joe Russo is discussing this concept of cooling towards small cells. Maybe their partner in Crown Castle has something to do with this, and maybe Verizon is not ready, to go in deeper on this, right? Maybe they're lightening up the capex a little bit, right? So they used to spend $18 to $18.5 billion annually, and now that's peeling back to probably more like 17 or 17.5 billion. Maybe that capex difference would have been dedicated to more small cells. And maybe they are peeling back a little bit on this. I've speculated that I think he's playing coy. I don't think they're going to peel back too much. I think they are going to reassert themselves in mmWave and building nodes, which means they need access to high capacity fiber circuits. Crown Castle in for that. And I think the same thing for just the general small cell builds as well, with C-band and cbrs deployments. But I think there might be a connection possibly between the state of Crown Castle and Verizon's partnership with them. Maybe that, I guess, a known future aspect of how Crown Castle is going to be doing things in the future. Maybe that's part of this. Or maybe Crown Castle's future is in the balance because companies like Verizon and other carriers are slowing their spending. I don't know if it's chicken or the egg came first in this case. I don't know. But they might be connected on some level. So I'm speculating in that respect. But I will tell you that based on the commentary from Verizon's Joe Russo, based on what we're hearing at a Crown, there clearly is a CapEx related issue, spending between all these companies. You know, investors, especially activist investor groups like Elliott Management, are really putting the clamps on these companies to monitor their spending, reduce, and reward investors. And, you know, this is one of the things I've talked about with T-Mobile. You know, they're really relaxing their CapEx. You know, they did a peak spend, I think, of about 12 or 13 billion at the height of the merger, like the year after or whatever. They're peeling back to maybe $9 billion. And they're in no position to do so with respect to their network build. They still do not match their competitors' network size. And in some instances, they don't have enough capacity to meet the needs of their customers in certain markets. So they need small cells. They need millimeter wave build outs. They need additional cell splits and creating more cell sites. And they're peeling back on their spending too. So the needs of the companies outweighing the needs of the customers in terms of demand. And that might come back to haunt these companies. All right, so who do you think is culpable for this conundrum? Do you think it's just Verizon cooling out on the small cell? Or do you think it's related to this Crown story? Do you think the carriers are going to be doing enough to meet the needs of the customers? I actually think that they'll find a way to make this all work, but there is going to be a transitional and adjustment period moving forward in CapEx. Right, 2024 will be conversations about investor returns, revenues, margins, and reducing CapEx and spending. What are your thoughts, guys? Give me your opinions and comments in the section below. Love to hear what you have to say on this. You all the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard.